She woke up with no memory of who she was. Elena, that's what the hospital bracelet said, but the name felt foreign, like wearing someone else's clothes. The doctors called it traumatic amnesia, complete memory loss, no past, no history, no idea who she'd been before yesterday. But here's the strange part. Elena felt relieved. Whatever life she'd been living before, she was free from it now. No painful memories, no regrets, no past haunting her, just a clean slate. The doctor said her memories might return, showed her belongings they'd found, a wallet, keys, a phone with a cracked screen, and a note in her own handwriting. 3 addresses written down, 3 places, nothing else. An elementary school on the east side, a house on Maple Street, a small café downtown called The Beginning. These might help trigger your memories, the doctor said, places from your past. Elena stared at the addresses. Part of her wanted to throw the note away, start fresh, stay free. But a bigger part needed to know, who was I? What was I running from? Because that's what this felt like, not losing memories, fleeing them. So Elena left the hospital, got on a bus, and headed to the first address, the elementary school, where apparently her past was waiting. The school was a skeleton, windows broken, doors hanging off hinges, graffiti covering walls that once held kids' artwork. Elena stood outside, waiting for something, a memory, a feeling, recognition. Nothing. She walked through the main entrance, hallways echoing with emptiness, classrooms gutted, desks overturned. Then she saw it. Room 4B. Something pulled her there. The door was stuck. She forced it open. Inside, the room was less destroyed than others, almost preserved. Desks still in rows, chalkboard intact. Elena walked to a desk in the back corner, ran her fingers over carved initials, E.M. plus J.R. Her initials. She'd sat here. This was her desk. Then she saw it, taped under the desk, an envelope, yellow with age, her name on it. Inside, a letter, in a child's handwriting, her handwriting from 20 years ago. "I'm sorry I didn't tell. I was scared. I saw what happened to Jamie. I saw who did it, but I was too scared to say. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry." Elena's hands shook. A memory crashed back. Not blurry, crystal clear. A boy, Jamie Rodriguez, her classmate. An accident on the playground. Or not an accident. A teacher, Mr. Harrison, pushing, Jamie falling. Elena watching from behind the equipment, frozen, silent. Jamie broke his arm, said he fell, never came back to school. And Elena never told, buried it, carried it for 20 years. She dropped the letter. Now she remembered why she came to this school every year, why she drove past but never stopped. Guilt lived here, and she'd finally found it. Elena sat in that classroom for an hour, processing. She hadn't lost her memories. She'd buried this one deep, so deep her mind built walls around it, until the walls became amnesia. But one memory wasn't enough. The note had 3 addresses, 3 pieces of her past. This was just the beginning. Elena left the school, got back on the bus, pulled out the note. Second address, 2447 Maple Street, her childhood home. The bus ride took 40 minutes. Elena used every minute trying to remember more. But nothing came. Just the school, just Jamie, just guilt. Maple Street looked different than she expected. Run down, forgotten. Her house, number 2447, was condemned. Yellow tape across the door. Unsafe structure signs everywhere. Elena ducked under the tape. The front door was unlocked, or rather, the lock was broken. She pushed it open. The smell hit first. Mold, decay, years of abandonment. Inside, the house was gutted. Walls ripped open, floors sagging. But the layout triggered something. Memories flickering like broken film. A woman yelling, a man leaving, a little girl hiding in a closet. Elena walked upstairs, stepped carefully on weak floorboards, found her childhood bedroom. Empty except for one thing. Words carved into the wall by the window. I hate her. I hate her. I hate her. I hate her. Elena's stomach dropped. She'd carved that. She remembered the knife, remembered the rage, but couldn't remember who her was. Then a floorboard creaked behind her. A voice. You came back. Elena spun around. A woman stood in the doorway. Old, weathered, familiar. You don't remember me, do you? The woman said. I'm your mother. You're not my mother, Elena said. But even as she said it, memories flooded back. This woman, younger, drunk, screaming, always screaming. You left me, the woman, her mother, said. 20 years ago, graduated high school and disappeared, changed your number, moved away, never looked back. More memories, fights, broken bottles, Elena packing a bag at 18, walking out, never returning calls. I tried to find you, her mother continued, but you made sure I couldn't, and now you're here, with no memory. Karma's funny that way. Elena looked at the carved words on the wall. I hate her. I hate her. You hated me, her mother said simply. And you had reasons. I wasn't a good mother. I was angry, bitter, took it out on you. But I got sober 10 years ago, tried to make amends. You wouldn't let me. Elena's head spun. This wasn't what she expected. She thought she'd find more guilt, more reasons she ran. Instead, she found someone trying to make things right, and herself refusing to let them. The amnesia, her mother said. When did it start? 3 days ago. I woke up in a hospital, no past. Her mother nodded slowly. 3 days ago was the anniversary. 20 years since you left. I sent you a letter asking to meet one more time. Did you read it? Elena didn't remember, but something in her gut said yes. You ran from this too, didn't you? Her mother said. From forgiving me, from letting the anger go. Easier to forget than to forgive. Elena wanted to argue, but couldn't, because her mother was right. She grabbed the note with 3 addresses. There's one more place. The café, her mother said, where it all started, where you decided to hate me forever. Elena left the house. Her mother didn't follow. One more truth waiting, and Elena was starting to understand. She wasn't recovering her past. She was being forced to face it. The café was gone, completely. Just an empty lot with rubble and a sign, future site of Maple Street Apartments. Elena stood where the entrance used to be, trying to remember, trying to see what was there before. And then it came, not slowly, all at once. She was 16, sitting in this cafe, across from her mother. It was one of Mom's good days, sober, trying. Her mother had ordered coffee, Elena hot chocolate. They were supposed to talk, try to fix things. But then he walked in, a man. Elena's mom's face changed, went pale, then angry. That's him, her mother had whispered. Your father. Elena had never met him, didn't know his face, just knew he'd left when she was 2. He saw them, recognized Elena's mom, walked over. "Sarah," he'd said to her mother, then looked at Elena. "Is this your daughter?" Elena's mom finished. "Elena, 14 years you've been gone." Her father shifted uncomfortably. I have a family now, a wife, 2 kids." "We were your family," Elena's mom said. "I made a mistake. I was young. I couldn't." That's when Elena's mother threw her coffee at him, started yelling, caused a scene. The owner kicked them out, but not before Elena's father said one thing: "I'm sorry, but I moved on. You should too." And Elena chose that moment, chose to hate her mother for making a scene, for not being the calm, together parent, for embarrassing her. Never mind that her father had abandoned them both. Elena blamed her mother for being messy, for being broken, for not being perfect enough to make him stay. And that hatred, Elena built her whole life on it. Left at 18, cut contact, refused forgiveness. Not because her mother didn't try, but because forgiving meant admitting Elena had been wrong, had blamed the wrong parent. Standing in that empty lot, Elena understood. Amnesia wasn't random. It was protection, her mind's last resort. Because if she remembered this, really remembered choosing hate over understanding, she'd have to face who she'd been. Selfish, judgmental, unwilling to see her mother as human. And that was harder than amnesia. Elena sat on the curb of that empty lot for a long time. 3 places, 3 truths. The school, she'd witnessed something wrong and stayed silent. Guilt. The house, she'd hated her mother for being imperfect, refused forgiveness. Rage. The café, she'd blamed the wrong person, chosen hate over understanding. Shame. And the amnesia wasn't a disease, was a choice, an escape. Because 3 days ago, on the anniversary of leaving, her mother's letter arrived. Elena remembered it now, sitting at her kitchen table, opening the envelope, reading. "Elena, it's been 20 years. I'm sober now, have been for 10. I know I hurt you. I know I failed you. But I've changed, and I need you to know I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't expect forgiveness, but I'm asking for one thing, a conversation. 1 hour. Let me explain. Let me try. I'll be at our spot, the cafe, where it all fell apart. Next Tuesday, noon. Please come. Mom." Elena remembered reading it, remembered the rage boiling up. After 20 years, now she wants to apologize? Now she's changed? Too little, too late. Elena crumpled the letter, threw it away. And then her mind broke. Couldn't hold the weight anymore. The guilt about Jamie, the rage at her mother, the shame of blaming the wrong parent. So it erased everything, reset, gave Elena what she'd wanted all along, freedom from her past. Except you can't outrun your past. Even when you forget it, it finds you. Those 3 addresses on the note, Elena had written them herself before the amnesia took hold. Some part of her knew, if this happens again, these are the places you need to face. The amnesia wasn't protecting her from trauma. It was protecting her from truth, from admitting she'd been wrong, from facing what she'd done, from forgiving herself. And now, sitting on that curb, Elena had a choice. Keep running, let the amnesia stay, live without the weight of her past. Or accept it, all of it, the guilt, the rage, the shame, and finally face herself. Elena went back to the hospital, found the doctor who treated her. "I remember," she said, "everything." The doctor was surprised. That's excellent. Usually traumatic amnesia takes months to It wasn't traumatic amnesia, Elena interrupted. It was me, running, and I need to stop. She left the hospital, took a bus to Maple Street, to the condemned house. Her mother was sitting on the porch, like she'd been waiting. "You came back," her mother said. "I read your letter," said, 3 days ago, before the amnesia, and I ran from it. From you, from everything." Her mother nodded slowly. "I figured. When they told me you'd lost your memory, I knew. You'd rather forget than forgive." "I'm sorry," Elena said, and meant it. "For what? For blaming you. For everything. For making you the villain when you were just human, imperfect, trying." Her mother's eyes filled. "I was a terrible mother." "You were a hurt mother," Elena corrected. "He broke you, and I blamed you for being broken, instead of blaming him for breaking you." They sat in silence for a moment. Then Elena said, "At the cafe, that day, you threw coffee at him, made a scene, and I hated you for it. But you know what? You should have thrown more than coffee. He deserved your anger, your mess, your imperfect, broken reaction." Her mother laughed through tears. "I always regretted that scene." "Don't," Elena said. "It was real. You were real. And I chose to be embarrassed instead of seeing you were hurt." More silence. Then her mother, "Can we start over?" "No," Elena said. "We can't erase 20 years, but we can accept them, all of it, the good, the bad, the ugly, and move forward. Together." Her mother reached out, took Elena's hand. "I'd like that." They sat there on that porch, holding hands, accepting a past they couldn't change, but could finally stop running from. But Elena wasn't finished. 2 truths accepted, 1 remaining. "I need to do something," Elena told her mother, "before we can really move forward." She went back to the school, not the abandoned building, the new school 3 blocks away where it relocated. She asked for the principal, explained she had information about an incident 20 years ago, a student named Jamie Rodriguez. They found the records. Jamie Rodriguez transferred out after an accident in 3rd grade. No further information. "Do you have contact information?" Elena asked. "For him or his family?" They did. Reluctantly gave it to Elena. She called. A woman answered. Jamie's mother. "Mrs. Rodriguez? My name is Elena Martinez. I was in 3rd grade with your son at the old elementary school." Silence. "I know what happened to Jamie," Elena continued. "On the playground. I saw it. It wasn't an accident. Mr. Harrison, the teacher, he pushed him. I saw it. And I never said anything. I was 8 and scared, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry." More silence. Then, "We knew." Elena's breath caught. "What?" "We knew it wasn't an accident. Jamie told us. But Mr. Harrison was a respected teacher. We were immigrants, didn't speak English well, didn't have money for lawyers. Who would believe us?" "I would have," Elena said, "if I'd spoken up." "You were 8, Mrs. Rodriguez said, "a child. We never blamed the children who were too scared to speak. But I carried it for 20 years, the guilt." "Then put it down," Mrs. Rodriguez interrupted gently. "My son is fine. He's 30 now, married, has a daughter. He barely remembers that day. But you've been living there for 2 decades. That's enough." Elena's throat tightened. "Is there anything I can do to make it right?" "You just did. You called. You told the truth. 20 years late, but you told it. That's all anyone can ask." Elena thanked her, hung up, and felt something shift. The guilt didn't disappear, but it changed. From a wound to a scar. From something that owned her to something that taught her. She'd been 8, scared, silent, and she'd carried that silence like a sentence for 20 years. But Mrs. Rodriguez was right. It was enough. Time to put it down. 3 places visited, 3 truths faced, 3 decades of running finally stopped. Elena wasn't the same person who woke up in that hospital. The amnesia had broken her, but facing her past rebuilt her. Different, stronger, free. Not because the past changed, because she stopped running from it. Elena's story teaches us something we all need to learn. You can't heal what you won't face. She spent 20 years running from 3 truths, and when running wasn't enough, her mind erased them completely. Amnesia wasn't a medical condition. It was a last resort, a mind saying, if you won't face this, I'll make you forget it. But here's what Elena learned. Forgetting doesn't free you. It just makes you carry the weight unconsciously. The guilt's still there. The rage still there. The shame still there. Just buried so deep you don't know why you're heavy. The school taught her guilt grows in silence. What you don't speak becomes what you can't escape. The house taught her refusing forgiveness punishes you more than the person you won't forgive. Her mother moved forward, got sober, changed. Elena stayed stuck, holding on to anger like it was keeping her safe. The café taught her sometimes we blame the wrong people because it's easier than admitting we were wrong. Her father left, but she punished her mother for not being perfect enough to make him stay. 3 places, 3 buried truths, and 1 lesson running through all of them. Acceptance doesn't mean what happened was okay. It means you stop letting it happen over and over again in your mind. Elena's past was painful. Her mother was imperfect. She stayed silent when she should have spoken. She chose hate over understanding. But accepting all of that, the messy, painful, imperfect truth, that's what set her free. Not the amnesia, not the forgetting, the facing, the accepting, the stopping running. Because here's the truth most people never learn. Your past doesn't go away when you ignore it. It just waits. In abandoned schools, in destroyed houses, in demolished cafes, in every place you refuse to return to. And eventually, if you run long enough, your mind will do what Elena's did. It'll erase everything. Because carrying truth you won't face is heavier than carrying nothing at all. But you can't live with nothing. A life without a past is a life without foundation. You need your history, even the painful parts, especially the painful parts. They made you, they shaped you, and accepting them is how you finally become free of them. So, if you're running from something right now, if there's a past you're avoiding, a memory you've buried, a truth you won't face, listen, it's still there, waiting, getting heavier. Maybe you don't have amnesia like Elena, but you have something. Anxiety that won't explain itself, depression that has no clear source, anger that seems disproportionate, numbness you can't shake. Those are symptoms of a past you're carrying but won't look at. And here's what Elena learned. The longer you run, the heavier it gets, until one day you can't run anymore. You collapse, or your mind collapses for you. You have 3 addresses too. Maybe not physical, maybe emotional. Places in your past where truth lives. Places you avoid. People you won't forgive. Choices you won't examine. Those are your abandoned schools, your destroyed houses, your demolished cafes. And you can keep avoiding them. Keep the amnesia going. Keep the forgetting. Keep the running. Or you can turn around. Face them, one at a time, however long it takes. It won't be easy. Elena didn't walk into those buildings and immediately feel free. She felt worse first, remembered things she'd rather forget, faced truths that hurt. But on the other side of that pain, freedom. Real freedom. Not the false freedom of forgetting, the real freedom of accepting. Comment below. What's your abandoned school? What truth are you running from? Because naming it is the first step, facing it is the second, accepting it is how you finally stop running. Subscribe for more stories about courage, healing, and the strength it takes to face ourselves honestly. Elena's amnesia wasn't her enemy. It was her mind trying to save her the only way it knew how, by erasing everything. But you know what saved her in the end? Not the forgetting, the remembering, the facing, the accepting. Your past is waiting, in whatever form it takes. And you can keep running, or you can turn around. The choice, like always, is yours. But remember, you can't outrun yourself. Eventually, you have to stop, turn around, and face the person you've been running from all along. Yourself. Start walking back. The past isn't as heavy when you're walking toward it instead of running from it. Your abandoned school is waiting. Time to go inside.